All right, so today I'm going to be talking about why I recently sold the seven-figure link building agency that I've been spending the last 6 years building and then quit SEO, which I've been doing for the past decade or so. People are still asking me about this all the time when I go to SEO conferences or in my DMs, so it's about time I talk about it. But definitely be sure to watch to the end because things might not be exactly like they seem. I'm going to be going over exactly what I'll be doing next, the future of Google as a traffic source, and a bunch of other stuff. All right, let's get into it. So I'm Chris Giges, and yes, I recently sold my seven-figure link building agency, but you can go to my website for more information about me. If you want to work together, go ahead and click work with me. If you want to subscribe to my newsletter, go ahead and do that here, where you'll get free weekly emails from me detailing what exactly I'm doing, as well as access to a bunch of SEO documents like my AI editing checklist. So real quick, let's talk about the agency and why I decided to sell it, and then I'll get some more stuff that is going to be more applicable to you. Started the agency 6 years ago, completely bootstrapped. Over 1,500 clients in over 60 countries, seven figures annually and growing. We had a big Facebook group, a podcast. It was fully automated pretty much. I didn't really have to do anything as far as daily operations went. I was just focused on growing the agency. And really, it completely changed my life. So why would I sell something like this? So there's a couple main reasons why I sold. The first big one is that too much of my net worth was in the equity of the company. All right, so let's just go ahead and say that this is my entire net worth right here. Let's just say that this is how much I actually have in money and assets and whatnot. And here's how much I had in the equity of the company, my ownership percentage of the company. Now, because this was making up over 50% of my net worth, it becomes quite uncomfortable to want to hold on to it, right? Especially when the SEO industry is extremely volatile and has been getting more volatile over time. Here's volatility over the past 5 years or so. Here's all in the green from 2020 to 2023. And then you see it really heating up over here as all this AI stuff has started hitting the market, right? And I'll talk much more about this later in the video. So anyway, too much of my net worth was in the equity of the company. If the SEO market goes up, then that's good for me. If the SEO market goes down, then it can be very bad for me, right? It's pretty much like holding any stock. SEO is a volatile industry, so it made me really want to consider selling. I believe when I really decided I want to try to sell right now is after the first helpful content update, which I think was right around here. And of course, that did this to a bunch of websites. Completely destroyed their rankings, completely destroyed their businesses. And so yeah, this is really all the second reason, right? Which is just that we're in a very turbulent market. And because we're in that turbulent market, it made me want to sell. And you also have to remember that selling something big like a company, like a link building agency can take a lot of time, right? So like how much time is going to pass between the point when you start going to the brokers and then maybe you find some buyers, they do their due diligence, you get the lawyers, you got contracts, you got all this stuff. It takes so much time. Then you might have an earn-out period. It just depends on who's buying the company and all that stuff. So what if I decide to sell the company here and it takes over a year for everything to happen? So I wanted to start trying to sell as early as possible. Some other reasons why I wanted to sell, if you talk to anyone who has a business partner, there are always disputes with your business partner. My partner and I, we were lucky to have been friends for a very long time since like high school. But even if you're friends, one person wants to do one thing, you want to go the other way, and it always causes issues. I don't think I've talked to anyone who's ever been in a partnership where they just said, everything is great. Everyone ends up having problems with their partner after a long amount of time, right? Next up, I was bored with it. I've been doing it for 6 years. I just wanted to move on and do new things. And also, we'd really been talking about trying to sell the agency for years. It just so happened when I wanted to sell the agency, my partner wasn't ready to sell quite yet. So I sold the agency that I had been building for the past 6 years, and then I quit SEO. But I didn't really quit, and you've probably figured that out by now. But I did take a big break for about 6 months. I didn't post any new YouTube videos. I just started posting again, which by the way, if you're already over on the channel, go ahead and give the video a like and give the channel a sub if you're enjoying the content. I got a bunch more on the way. And really, I'm going to be ramping up here as far as digital marketing content and AI related content, not just SEO anymore. More on that in a bit. I didn't post on social media or anything for about 6 months. I didn't email my email list. I didn't even really check social media to see what other people are doing. I just stopped caring, right? The TLDR is that I just stopped trying to grow. I still took care of some SEO clients. I still did some consulting. I still did some auditing, but I didn't do anything to really try to grow my revenue. Yes, I took on some new clients, but I didn't do anything to actively pursue them, right? They just came from the YouTube channel or whatever else. And yes, I'm still taking on new clients for consulting, full service SEO audits, all that good stuff. So go and click work with me in the description if you're interested in any of that. So yeah, the only real thing that I did was just take care of my clients and then keep up to date with any major changes like all the algorithm updates that were continuing to roll out, anything that was must know. So I continued traveling. I travel a bunch. I went to SEO conferences in Vietnam, the SEO Mastery Summit, as well as spending a bunch of time in Chiang Mai. They have an awesome SEO community out there, probably the best in the world. I spent a little too much time playing World of Warcraft Classic and chasing dopamine from a bunch of random stuff. But I eventually got bored of all that stuff too. So here I am again, time to get back to work. I think life's always better when you have some goal, something to work forward to, right? But is SEO really the play anymore? Is SEO what I still want to be spending all my time doing, even though we've got all this crazy AI stuff happening, all these crazy Google updates happening? Coming back with all the changes got me feeling a little bit like this guy here. Definitely a little bit overwhelmed. And also, I can't really stress enough how massive some of the changes that are happening in the industry right now are. One of the big oh crap moments I had when I was coming back to SEO is when I got food poisoning in Vietnam, and then I went over to Malaysia. So I was in Malaysia, but food poisoning from Vietnam. And I started looking up a bunch of stuff for food poisoning on Google. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to use ChatGPT instead. And that's the point when I just started using ChatGPT for literally everything and stopped using Google anymore. And so, yeah, it was awesome. It helped me do diet planning in the country that I was in. It was completely tailored for me, and it was a completely different experience than trying to find all of this stuff on Google. It knew all the local food. It's just crazy, right? And so as I'm starting to work again, as I'm starting to come back into the SEO industry, this is one of the big moments I had where I was like, maybe Google SEO is in trouble. Maybe things are going to be quite different from how I thought they were going to be, and this stuff taking a much longer time to happen than I thought it would. And then you just have the general sentiment of things online, right? AI getting too good, ask it for novel recommendations based on what it knows about me. The first 3 recommendations also happen to be my favorite 3 novels. AI planning people's entire vacations for them. Pretty much every SEO expert out there sounding off right now. Organic traffic will drop across the board. Companies will downgrade their ROI expectations from SEO. Brands will double down on ownable channels. Position 1 will lose its luster, and SEO strategies will shift to branding and thought leadership. And I think it's going to be a little bit more than that. I'll talk about that later in the video. Then we got Kevin Indeg's study over here saying that AI overviews are causing people to lose 50% or more clicks on searches. AI overviews are, of course, these things that pop up right here at the top and give people a very concise answer immediately when they're searching for something. So people just read that and don't click on anything else. Ahrefs saying that the amount of these AI overviews, these things that we were just talking about right here, the amount of these have doubled since the March algorithm update. And I would expect this number to continue increasing as Google fine-tunes the AI overviews and they spit out better answers. You have the very real possibility that all informational content is pretty much going to go to these LLMs or these concise AI answers, especially the way that most people do informational SEO content, which is just to get AI to write it anyway. Why do you need to write AI content and put it on your website and make it a little bit better when they can just search for their question in the search bar and get it straight from Google, right? Just cut out the middleman. Unless, of course, you're doing something extremely specialized where people really trust only a few people's expert opinions, right? But most of the informational content, like 95% plus of it on the internet, is not that. Then, of course, you have AI really starting to grow as far as where people are finding their information. And that's just going to continue getting bigger. Then you have news of Google really going all in on AI. And it looks like they're pretty much going to become an LLM themselves. We'll talk about that more in just a minute as well. And now just a couple of days ago at Google I/O 2025, Google announced AI mode rolling out everywhere in the US, which is different from AI overviews. It's essentially their LLM, which will be rolled out as part of the standard Google offering. I don't want to turn my VPN on in the middle of recording the video to try to use AI mode because I think you got to be in the US to use it. But anyway, it's straight on Google's homepage, google.com. You can click AI mode instead of a regular search, and it'll just give you LLM answers that look pretty much just like ChatGPT with more Google stuff in it. As well as when you make a search on Google, we have like the all tab, the images tab. Now you have the AI mode tab, which will give you access to the LLM as well. And I can't really overstate how big of a change this is. It really looks like Google is going to completely change the way that they do everything, which means that SEO and search marketing in general is about to change forever. Of course, I'm going to be talking a lot more about all this stuff, especially AI mode. I'm going to dive into that a bunch more in my next video. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already and catch that video when it comes out, hopefully in the next couple of days or so. On top of that, you've got Reddit still dominating searches. This was literally the first thing that I typed in, just where to buy backlinks. And this was, of course, the #1 result. I've got an ad blocker on right now, so you can't see all the ads that would even be above this. There'd probably be 4 or 5 ads pushing even the #1 result down. Then we've got these discussion and forum sections. We've got people also ask, what are people saying? You got videos, like we're just now getting to the #3 search result. And that's with the ad blocker on, without it blocking all this other stuff at the top here. So even without all the AI and LLM stuff, Google is already dramatically reducing the amount of clicks that people are getting just by flooding their SERPs with all of this other stuff, right? Then, of course, you have stuff like TikTok and YouTube, where the younger generations are using these instead of Google. They're searching on these kind of like video platforms to get answers for pretty much everything. So search trends in general are changing a lot as well. Of course, Google's updates like the HCUs in general, just making SEO a riskier play where they might just penalize your website one day and there might be no way to really recover it, right? A lot of these HCU sites are not really having a good time trying to recover. So I came back to the SEO industry after selling the link building agency. I took some nice time off, and it feels like I'm walking into a bit of a dumpster fire. You got a bunch of SEOs walking around saying everything's fine. People have been saying SEO is going to die for years. And it's true. People have been saying SEO is going to die for years and years and years. But I think if you're not really understanding the massive changes that are happening right now, then I don't really know what to tell you. I think things are about to completely change. Google has told us that they want this AI mode to be their pretty much new default search over time. It's going to take some time to transition to that. But the LLMs, which that's what AI mode is, the LLMs are going to be basically the new default search. All right, so we've got the good news and we've got the bad news. Let's go ahead and start with the good news. The good news is that people are not going to stop searching. As long as there's an internet, people are going to search somehow and they need to find things on the internet, right? But how they search for things is going to change a lot. Another thing that you could say is good news is that change does take time. So how long is it going to be before things change and Google's default is the AI mode? We're not really sure, but it is happening. Clicks are reducing. It will take a little bit of time. So you could say that's good news as well. Which leads us to the bad news. You pretty much need to adapt or you are going to die. Whether you are a business who's getting all of your business from Google SEO or you are in the SEO industry and you have an SEO agency, a link building agency, whatever, you're going to have to adapt or you're just going to die, right? You need to be learning how to do all this other stuff, all these social media channels, video channels, things like email, PPC, ranking in the LLMs, Google, which will also be an LLM. Probably spelling this word wrong, but what we're looking for here is omnipresence, right? You're going to have to be present everywhere. This is going to be the new age of finding things online and how you're able to rank and make people discover your brand and buy things from you. Because AI and these LLMs, they work a lot differently than Google used to with just the 10 blue links that we're just looking at websites, right? Even Google works differently now. Like I showed you before, having an omnipresent strategy already is working. If you're on all of these Reddit posts doing parasite SEO, if you're on Quora as well, if you're doing people also ask stuff, if you're on these bigger websites here, if you are on video platforms, if you're doing PPC, which is not showed because of the ad blocker, there becomes a point when people can no longer ignore your brand. So no, I don't really think everything is fine. I think you really need to start adapting like right now, today, if you plan to have a stable business in the future. And if you're getting your traffic from Google, especially. I would say the most safe SEO sectors right now are doing e-commerce or local or any legit business and service provider. However, even for this stuff, things are most likely going to change as well. The next video that I just talked about before, where I'm going to play with AI mode, I'm going to be testing exactly how Google looks for this type of stuff using AI mode. And of course, this will change over time, but it'll give us a clue of how things are going to look for even these kind of companies as well. And of course, I'm staying away from content sites that's an affiliate website or websites that are providing a bunch of informational content with ads or affiliate revenue. It doesn't really matter. And anything that relies on informational content as a long-term strategy. Because yes, maybe you have some informational content that is doing okay right now and bringing in some traffic, but you're going to have more and more of these AI overviews popping up. They're going to take all of your clicks. And on top of that, you're going to have AI mode and people just asking LLMs for answers anyways. Your informational content's not worth anything, or it won't be in a somewhat close future. So no, it's not quite game over, but we do need to adapt. Here's what I'm going to be doing. First of all, I'm positioning myself as a holistic digital marketer. Of course, you probably know this handsome gentleman over here, Mr. Corey, who coined the term holistic SEO, which just meant doing all the things in SEO for the best results. It seems that moving forward, we're not just going to be doing holistic SEO, but we're going to be doing holistic digital marketing, right? We're going to be doing all of this other stuff to achieve an omnipresent strategy and to force LLMs to take account of our brand, as well as just being visible to people wherever they're searching to try to find you and not doing the all eggs in one basket approach, which is what we've been doing with Google for quite some time now, right? So we're going to be doing SEO plus all the other stuff. Of course, we're going to be staying up to date with AI, whether that's using AI in my own business or using AI to help me rank on Google or ranking in the LLMs themselves. And for me, at least right now, I'm going to have less of a focus on growing my revenue and more of a focus on the evolution of what I'm doing. Just heavy focus on AI, heavy focus on testing, heavy focus on LLMs and just the way things are moving, right? And the real trick is going to be trying to evolve our product offering, trying to evolve what we're doing and repackaging it and doing things in a new way, which is more beneficial to the client in this shifting landscape that's happening right now. And I would expect that the landscape just continues to shift, right? Everything is going to be just so turbulent for a while, but that's okay. There's a lot of opportunity in chaos. So yes, of course, we are in an adapt or die situation. I, for one, am choosing to adapt. And I hope you are too. Is SEO dead? No. Is it changing? Yeah. You even have all these funny acronyms now like SEO, IAO, GEO, SXO. There's like 50 of them. So yeah, we're going to literally have like 50 acronyms in our LinkedIn profiles now. And again, if you want to stay up to date, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like the video if you're enjoying the content. And of course, subscribe to my email list as well. You also get access to a bunch of stuff like my AI editing checklist and other stuff as I continue to make it and dump it into the shared folder. All right, guys, that's it for now. See you next time. Bye-bye.